Hello and welcome back to Michigan. It's time for I forget the title of this race so easily. It's I think the Upper Peninsula of Michigan 500 here. Front row today will be Jessica Shelton and Steve Pollard. Jessica Shelton qualifying herself for the Bud Shootout next season in 2007. Charles Jackson, Sam Curtis make up row number 2. Will Lewis and the defending champion Mary Shelley make up row number 3, with Charles Sanford, Alex Hawkins, the All-Star race winner, in row 4. And Kyle Matthews and Eric and Rage in row 5. Here's the rest of your starting grid here today. The points coming into play today: Amy Shelley, the points leader in the 89 by 7 points over Dylan Young in the 8. 14 points goes back to Steve Pollard in 3rd. Sky Commons is 35 points back in 4th. Tom Shelley, 75 points back in 5th. Those are the only 5 guys who could leave here as the points leader. Rest of the top 10, Ashley LaPlante, Momo Akari, Henry Powers, Preston Plord, and Kris Wascher, the Michigan native, looking for a good run today.
Drivers, start your engines.
Remember, Daniel Day actually qualified in row 16, but had to go to the rear of the field for a backup car. We will be carrying 8 onboard cameras like we usually do, and they will be carried by the top 8 in points. So, as follows, starting with the Dodge onboard camera, as Eric Powers is broken down. That was good timing. Amy Shelley will be carrying the Dodge onboard camera. Dylan Young, the Chevy onboard camera. Steve Pollard, the Ford onboard camera. Sky Commons, the Dodge onboard camera. Tom Shelley, the Wells Fargo onboard camera. Ashley LaPlante, the Singular onboard camera. Momo Akari, the Miller Lite onboard camera. And Henry Powers, the City Financial onboard camera. So Eric Powers does join us. He will now be starting at the rear of the field in the 88. So an interesting predicament there. Apparently a flat tire on the grid for Henry Powers. Gonna make him start from the rear here, but pace car pulls off. We're set to go for 30 laps here from Michigan. They're in the zone, and the green flag is out. We're underway. For the first time this weekend, though, it looks as though the pole sitter will actually get the jump and lead down into turn number 1. Gonna watch Steve Pollard here, see if the outside line works as good as it did in the other 2 races this weekend. Not so well. Looks like the top fall. Not even quite sure how many inside rows there got by Steve. But here we go down to turn number 3. Couple cars sliding up a little bit there. Here comes Mary Shelley looking for the lead. And not gonna get it. Jessica Shelton leads lap 1 here from the pole. Meanwhile, 3 wide back here. Now it's Kris Wascher, Kyle Matthews, and Charles Jackson. 3 wide as battle for the lead. Mary Shelley goes inside and the caution flag is out. Racing back to the line now, so there was a wreck on the front straightaway, it would seem. And oh boy, they are really sliding up quite a bit there is what I'm noticing. But coming down to complete lap 2, Mary Shelley will lead over Jessica Shelton, Kyle Matthews, Robert Pollard, and Matthew Marias, the top 5. And there you see the skid marks in turn number 1. And looks like field will be able to slow down here, not bunch up into each other. Axel Casella, Ashley LaPlante involved, and I was wrong. I was very, very, very wrong. I thought they wouldn't bunch up, but apparently I was wrong. As they spun around the 21st position. But okay. Gonna go up to the leaders, see if they pit. And no, they will not. So let's go ahead and take a look back at what happened to Axel Casella. And we are back. Here's what happened to Axel Casella on the end of lap 1, starting lap 2. You see they're 3 wide here with the 8, the 25, and the 80. Oh, wow, and Casella hits the safer barrier wall. That's about the only explanation I have, and he is in the catch fence. Wow. And he's riding it. Oh my gosh, that was wicked lick. As you see the Stan Hoover Motorsports number 80 just barrel rolling down the bankment. Let's take another look at this from a different camera angle, see if we can't see it a little bit better. And yeah, there it is. Just hits where the safer barrier wall. Nowhere for Ashley LaPlante to go. Ashley Brock gets a piece of this in the 26. And just rides in the catch fence. That has gotta be looked at. That was a weird hit to see. So Axel Casella with problems. And you see it just starts to barrel roll down the banking here at Michigan International Speedway. A terrible crash here for Axel Casella. We will hope he is alright and wait on word. But that puts us underneath the caution for the first time. Let's go back to restart. Remember, there were some cars that stacked up under the caution. They will be a little bit slower and off the pace. And we are back to the live action here from the Michigan International Speedway. The only retirement of the race so far is Axel Casella, who is being transported to a local hospital. The top 10 rundown, though: Mary Shelley and Jessica Shelton in front of Kyle Matthews, Robert Pollard, Matthew Marias, Kris Wascher, Charles Sanford, Alex Perkle, Charles Jackson, and Theo Stegall. Rest of the top 20 looks like this: Alex Hawkins, Steve Pollard from the outside front row is back in 12th. Mason Neal, Eric Enrage, Hiroshi Kazuyoshi, Zach Kreller, Sam Curtis, Will Lewis, William Duncan, and Troy Kang. Henry Powers, Stephen Paul III, Austin LaPlante, DJ Curtis, Dylan Young, Gene Sanford, Levi McIntyre, Tom Shelley, Amy Shelley, Sky Commons, Daniel Day, Preston Plord, Eric Powers, Kyle Collins, Sam Young, Ashley Brock, Allie Nelson, Jeff James, Cosmic Nova, Momo Kari, and Ashley LaPlante. As you see, Ashley LaPlante, no hood on the 31. Doesn't look like a lot of the other cars have a whole lot of damage. Either they didn't pit or they fixed it up pretty well on pit lane. So here we go. Field getting ready to get the green flag here on the end of lap number 6, going on to 7. And the green flag is back out. We're underway once again. Robert Pollard's got to be careful. Got to wait till after the line to make the move. He does. Now Charles Sanford and Alex Perkle making a move for 6th spot here on Kris Wascher. As now, look at this. Washer's starting to fall back. So the high line not as effective today as it was in the other 2 races. As Jessica Shelton now going for the top spot. Here comes Robert Pollard in the 72. Points ever so important for the 43 and the 72 today. Both drivers outside the top 42 in owners points coming in. Kyle Matthews could use 5 bonus points. He could use a win, most importantly. 23rd in the drivers points coming into the race today. Clears the 72 going down into 1. Kyle Matthews now into 2nd, going for the race lead on the 43. Here comes Mary Shelley now going for the top spot. 209 down into turn number 3. I just saw that speed. That was impressive. That might be why they're sliding up in this race. As now Matthew Marias inside of Robert Pollard as the 43 starts to fall back a little bit. Perkel's been on a move since the restart. Oh, and I saw the 43 up in the wall. That was nervous. But look at the run. The 43 is carrying down the back straightaway now. They might want to look at slowing these cars down next season. I don't know. We're hearing that it might be a COT race here for Michigan. That wouldn't be too bad. They've been testing out the cars here. As now Robert Pollard goes for the top spot. Kyle Matthews still leading. Here comes Charles Jackson looking for a good run, trying to get top 30 in the points for the 9 car. Comes into this race 35th in the driver's points. If they can get top 30, they would be in the chase at the end of Richmond. Shelton now starting to make moves back up towards the front. Getting inside Marias. Here comes Robert Pollard once again to the inside of the 38. Marias and Hawkins slipping up the track a little bit. Robert Pollard clears. He's into second now. Here comes Jessica Shelton trying to take advantage of the fact that both of these cars had a little bit of lower momentum now down the front straightaway. Shelton going back for second now on the 43. Let's see how much of a run the 72 gets down the back straightaway. Charles Jackson, Mason Neal up here. Doing a great job again for the 12 car once again today. Having a terrific season in that car for Mason, a rookie season, but has not looked the part to this so far. As Shelton now into second, here comes Charles Jackson. All this about 2 or 3 car lengths behind the 09 of Kyle Matthews. I'm sure he's pretty content with that though. As Jackson now into third, Mary Shelley going for fourth on Robert Pollard. Down the back straightaway they come. Jackson makes the move inside the 43. Evernham versus Petty. As Shelley slides up the track, has to give room for Perkel. Jackson now into second. Will Lewis coming up towards the front in the 6 car. Here comes Robert Pollard now. He's trying to make a peek maybe for 3 wide for second. Or at least trying to go for third. Perkel into 5th now. Down the back straightaway they come. Shelton gets the run, clears, and so does Perkel for 4th. So Alex Perkel using the draft to get the high line into the 4th spot. As Jackson now tries to chase down the 09, and it appears that Dodge is 1, 2, and 3. You can never really tell with the 09. They're so irrelevant that they forgot to put the manufacturer on it. Mary Shelley now going for 5th on Robert Pollard. Pollard trying to get the outside run to work. As they're starting to catch Kyle Matthews now. Jackson is there. Looking at how the draft plays a key role a little bit. Speed's starting to slow down a little bit as the tires start to wear. As Perkel gets loose on the bottom line. Shelton keeps 3rd. They're 3 wide for 4th now. Pollard, Perkel, Shelley, and throw Will Lewis into the mix there. Here comes Kris Wascher, the Michigan native. You can kind of start to hear the crowd start to go a little bit wild now. As Washer's starting to make moves. Almost made it 4 wide there, but they all get down to 2 wide. Troy King up here in the front. Robert Pollard battling with fellow D&Q regular Will Lewis. Let's look at Kris Wascher. He's stuck in the middle now with Theo Stegall and Troy King on the outside of him. They're 3 wide, just a little bit behind there. You see Henry Powers in it, as well as Hiroshi Kazuyoshi, Preston Plord, and it looked like Levi McIntyre there for a moment. No, that's Charles Sanford on the outside of it. Okay, different red car this week. As Pollard's still trying to make the move on Shelton and Lewis. The difficult part is he's got 0 help down there on a track that's proven that the draft does play a role. But he's trying to do it on his own right now. Robert Pollard, as they're halfway home, 16 complete. That time by as Wascher trying to find a way inside the top 5. He's going for 6th right now on the past champion, Mary Shelley. Perkle sliding up the track as well. Will Lewis inside of Robert Pollard. Shelton trying to make the move on Jackson for second as they're right there on Kyle Matthews' back bumper now. They're starting to catch Ashley LaPlante. So lap traffic going to play a role now in the upcoming stages of this race. Robert Pollard, what a move. Down to the bottom of the track here, making it 3 wide. This is going to be 3 wide for second entering turn number 1. And Kyle Matthews loving that. As Theo Stegall gets past Kris Wascher. Shelton with the run off the top line, going for the lead on Kyle Matthews now. Here comes Will Lewis to the inside for second. Matthews starting to fall back. As Wascher makes a move inside of Stegall again. Jackson back to 5th. Pollard up to 4th. As Kris Wascher now starting to make moves up towards the front. Into 6th. As they're 3 wide for the top spot. Nearly some contact with the 6 and the 43. Here comes Robert Pollard though. Going to take advantage. He's going to go to the top spot. Or is he? He gets a little loose. Oh, he's still there. Wascher now into the top 5 as the crowd goes wild. The Michigan fans on their feet. As their favorite driver is into 4th place now, with just 11 laps to go. As you see Ashley LaPlante there in the screen, Robert Pollard leads over Will Lewis, Charles Jackson, and Kris Wascher as Shelton gets a run down the back straightaway. Mary Shelley trying to push the 5. As they catch LaPlante, that slows up the 72 a little bit. Now we saw how the lot traffic cost the 17 a lot of spots yesterday, and today it might be the 43 just a little bit. Kris Wascher under attack from Troy King as they're 3 wide for the top spot. Here comes Charles Jackson, the Ontario winner. 3 abreast as they go for the lead at Michigan. Robert Pollard gets the lead. Wascher now with a crossover on King. Jackson inside of Will Lewis for second now as they come off turn number 4. 9 to go. This time by. Will they catch any other lap traffic? They might catch Ashley Brock, who is actually on the lead lap but without a hood. I didn't see that before. Jackson now into 9th, or into 9th. Okay, into 2nd in the 9. Wascher into 3rd. If he could get to the lead, you know this crowd will go crazy. Jackson looking for win number 2 of the season. Wascher looking for win number 1. Pollard looking for win number 1. Pollard's just looking for a top 5 finish though. A top 5 finish would be lovely for that team. Wascher into 2nd. The defending champion, winless so far in 2006, looking for win number 1 of the season, currently in 4th. Here comes Pollard now on the outside line. Wascher gets the run. He's into 2nd. There's contact with the 27 and the 15. They keep it going straight though. 3 wide for 5th. The 38, 6, and 60. As they're slowing down, they're going to pit here with just less than 10 to go. Matthews to the pits as well as a few others. As Kris Wascher is inside for the race lead with 7 laps to go. Crowd is on their feet. Shelley into 3rd. Will Lewis battling with Perkle for 4th, and Wascher is leading at Michigan. The Michigan native out in front. But it looks as though he will be pitting this time. Will Lewis is pitting. Shelton stays out. Shelton as well as Sanford, Marias, and Nelson all staying out. Gonna have to watch to make sure that they get off pit road safely here. Oh, Duncan! Sam Young! And it does bring out the caution. Oh! That's going to change the whole complexity of this race. 4 cars stayed out. Kyle Matthews is going to get stuck a lap down. Actually 5, because Jeff James, Cosmic Nova all stayed out. The caution flag flies as Shelton is out in front. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. Actually, I can. And the tough break has got to go to Kris Wascher. Now the question is going to be, how many cars are going to be on the lead lap? Oh, it's Mason Neal and Cosmic Nova. They make contact there. Because I'm pretty sure Neal's trying to get back around to get to where he's supposed to be. As here comes the top 4. This is going to be an easy call. 4 tires and fuel probably for them. Kazuyoshi getting up into line. There you see the gap back to the 00 and the 41. So as they come down, we'll watch the pit stops here, and then we'll take you back to show you what happened once again. Pretty much the staple of Michigan, wrecking off pit lane. Guess fuel only, actually, for these guys. 43 first off pit lane, then the 05, then the 22. Wow. Okay, that was interesting. Even under the caution, guys. Come on. So this will be interesting to see how this goes. But let's go ahead and take you back and show you what happened to bring out the caution. And we're back, and I will give these guys credit. Normally when I see this happen, they have a huge wreck. But these two managed to do this and only take out each other, really. William Duncan gets spun by Sam Young. That has to bring out the caution because of the spot of the track. And amazingly enough, no one hits the 48 of William Duncan. So, unfortunate there. William Duncan goes around, and the caution comes out during green flag pit stops, trapping a lot of this field a lap down to the race leaders. Jessica Shelton was first off pit lane. Let's go back to the green flag. And we are back, and let's explain what is going on as Henry Powers actually retired with a gearbox. There are 12 cars on the lead lap. Everyone else is 1 lap down, and we will have a 1 lap shootout. Now, normally in a 1 lap shootout with Michigan, the way it happens is you're going to see the leaders like way at the back and with everyone pretty much the whole track behind. Not the case this time, as Ashley Brock is the only car lining up in front of the race leaders and is on the tail end of the lead lap in the 26. Jessica Shelton is leading over Charles Sanford, Allie Nelson, and the top 3 are in front of all the lap traffic. Mason Neal's there. Matthew Marias is going to be restarting 4th. Then we go back here to find the 5th place car. Going back, just wait. There he is. Jeff James is in 5th. Going back a little bit farther, Cosmic Nova in 6th. Charles Jackson in 7th, Kris Wascher 8th, Alex Perkle 9th, Theo Stegall, and Will Lewis is on the lead lap in the 11th spot. But, I mean, this is a tough break for a lot of these cars who were probably on the lead lap and running well had this caution not come out. But we are going to see a 3-car battle for the race lead here on the final lap probably. Maybe Marias might be able to get into it if he can dispose of the 12 really quickly. But either way, here we go. Green flag is out. 1 lap shootout from Michigan International Speedway. Shelton going to get by the lap car of Ashley Brock pretty quickly. Marias going to get by the 12. So this will be a 4-car battle for the top spot here at Michigan. Sanford looking for win number 2 on the season. Shelton looking for win number 1 of her Coke Vanilla career. And through 3 and 4? You're kidding me. Okay then. Jessica Shelton gonna come on down. She's gonna win. Well, that was anticlimactic. Not quite sure what all of that was about pitting. And the 19 and the 05 are pit on the other side of pit road, so they aren't even across the line yet. They're going to finish 10th and 11th, though. So Jeff James, through all this, is going to net a... I have no clue what happened. I am completely and utterly confused, as Nelson actually gets credited with only finishing 11th, apparently. I don't get that. Nelson crossed the line before the 05 and the 19, but yet is going to get credited with 11th. Okay, so trying to make sense of all of this. Top 10 rundown today: Jessica Shelton, Jeff James, Charles Jackson, Will Lewis, Cosmic Nova, Alex Perkle, Kris Wascher, Theo Stegall, Charles Sanford, and Matthew Marias, I guess, get 9th and 10th. Nelson is showing up as 11th. And Ashley Brock fell all the way back to 21st after getting to restart 12th on the tail in the lead lap. That was utterly confusing as how that happened. I don't know. Either way, what I do know, Shelton wins the race. That's going to help that car out a lot. They were 43rd in owner's points coming in. Now the question is going to be, can Shelton get to the top 30 in points to be able to make the chase? So, with that said, I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't. Go over to the NRSL forum. Sign up there. I post info about the races where you can see how you practiced, how you qualified, all that before the race even comes. Well, how you practiced at least. But with that said, like I said, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.